Hey everybody, this is Joel, the accidental retiree, here on YouTube in Buenos Nayarit, Mexico. Bienvenidos a nuestro canal. Bienvenidos to another episode here in Buenos. We got an important episode. My gosh, we got a bank failure here in Mexico. Well, it's not quite a bank failure. Essentially, CI Banco's license has been revoked. So call it what you will. It's a failure nonetheless. We had brought this up to your attention a few months ago about the investigation into CI Banco as well as Intercam that were being investigated supposedly for being involved in money laundering. I have my own opinions on this, but we're just going to kind of like stick to the facts of what's going on. If you had your account at CI Banco and it was closed, here are the things you need to do to access your money. But before we get into it, I'd love to give a shout out to our two sponsors, maravillanairit.com, your one-stop vacation rental solution for vacation rentals here in Buenos Nayarit. You can send an email to info@maravillanairit.com. You'll get Jillian, my lovely wife. You can let her know that Joel sent you and you will receive 10% off a weekly vacation rental or greater. And now to our second sponsor, which is also connected to maravillanairit.com, which is sponsoring this amazing contest on our new YouTube channel, The Accidental Retiree Travels, where we are giving away, okay, you ready? Up to 150,000 Turkish airline miles. Surprising because while we have a lot of people who have registered for the contest, I'm surprised that the numbers are still fairly low. I don't know, and Jillian actually and I talked about this, if people realize how valuable 150,000 Turkish airline miles can be. For example, the other day I saw a sale from Mexico City to Istanbul in business class for 50,000 Turkish airline miles. And to put that in perspective, a business class fare, full fare, could be as much as $5,000, and you could probably find a discounted business class one-way fare from what I've seen for around $2,500. So if you look at that, 50,000 or 150,000 divided by 50,000, that's 3 business class tickets, valued anywhere from around $2,500 to $5,000 per ticket, or $7,500 to $15,000. So there's a lot of moolah at stake. So if I can have you take a look at the link in the description, sign up for the contest, and go check out our other YouTube channel where we are basically going to be publishing all of our future travel videos. And for the videos on this channel, we're going to stick pretty well to Mexico and things related to Mexico, and more specifically in the area of Buenos and Puerto Vallarta and the surrounding Bay Area. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to get into this. My gosh, so if you had an account at CI Banco, you must be freaking out, but all is not lost. Like what we mentioned in the previous video when we brought this to your attention, there is the Mexico Institute for the Protection of Bank Savings, known as IPAB, and essentially they have revoked CI Banco's license, and as a result of that, they started the process of liquidating all of the assets. So essentially think of them as a trustee, and a trustee would come in under a bankruptcy situation, but because they're responsible for paying out all the insured deposits, they basically take over the bank, they liquidate all the assets, and they pay out all the deposit insurance. And funnily enough, I don't know if this, well, it's not funny, but I'm pretty surprised that it's actually going to be this quick. They're saying that they're going to start paying out insured deposits beginning on Monday, October 13th, and essentially advising account holders to go check out the official website for information, which I'm going to put that link in the description as well, also up here on the screen. You have to do, click on the link. You have to complete the form with required information as shown on your latest CI Banco account statement. So you got to pull your latest statement. You got to provide the clave, or the account number of your bank account, to receive your guaranteed deposit by transfer. So not your CI Banco bank account, but whatever bank account you're using here in Mexico that's not CI Banco. You'll then receive a confirmation email on the same day basically confirming that all your details are in fact confirmed. And I guess it should be running tickety-boo. You should get your money in what they say is between 48 and 72 hours of filling out that form. Now, what happens if you don't have a Mexican bank account? My suggestion is just go set one up. That's going to be the easiest thing. But if you are dead set against that, you'll have to go to a CI Banco branch or an IPAB office to basically file a physical payment request asking for a physical payment. Won't be in cash, likely some type of check or draft. Now, the government's also created another website that is explaining the whole legal framework around this. So I'm not going to go into it because it would take up a little too much video. Just going to stick to the high-level 35,000 foot facts here, as I could say. But you can click on that website. I'm going to put the link in the description, give you kind of all the details, but just basically be on the lookout for fraudsters that somehow might be impersonating IPAB or CI Banco and trying to basically get your information so that they can essentially get your insured deposit. So do not accept any phone calls, do not give any information. You can deal directly with the government website, stick to that, okay? Someone phones you saying they're from CI Banco, just hang up, okay? No one is going to be doing that, and if they are doing that, you're likely target of fraud. Now, people ask, so what are my deposits insured up to? Each deposit account is insured up to what they call 400,000 investment units, or UDIs, but really you want to know what that means in today's numbers. So that's 3,424,262 pesos, divided by 18.5, $185,000 US dollars. So that's not chump change and nothing to sneeze at. There is a deadline. I suggest get on this right away. Just get it done. You want to get your money. But all this has to be completed by October 13th, 2026. Another question you might have, if you have a loan or some type of credit card with CI Banco, just because they've gone out of business or being liquidated, you still have that debt. The debt is basically being assigned to IPAB, so essentially consider them the bank. If you have a loan payment, you're going to have to continue to make those loan payments as you would have in the past. Don't stop making those loan payments because that's going to affect your credit here in Mexico. When it comes to other financial transactions, CI Banco is basically closed for business. So no transfers, no deposits, you cannot do anything. But again, if you have a loan product, you still have to continue making that payment. The crazy thing is shareholders of CI Banco or the board of directors or other representatives with administrative powers, their deposit accounts, unfortunately, are not covered under the insurance. It would be basically under the general fund. So once all the insured deposits are paid out, the scraps that are left over are going to be paid to them as well as the other creditors of the bank. So if you remember in the previous video that we did, this all kind of came out because the U.S. Department of Treasury's and Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, my gosh, the U.S. has so many departments nowadays, basically sanctioned CI Banco and the two other financial institutions, Intercam being one of them, which has basically, they've sorted it out. They've been taken over by Capital Bank, so they survived this, but basically accused of laundering millions and millions of dollars for the various drug cartels. So that's where this all started. So here it is, and yeah, as we went over in the last video, it is not, it sucks. It sucks that it's happening. If you're a CI Banco customer, I am pleasantly surprised that the payouts are happening so quickly. I honestly never thought that would occur. I thought you'd be like tied up in a bureaucratic nightmare for years. But now we're looking at literally weeks for you to get paid out. So I think that is good news. And for those of you who this is new news, again, remember that your deposits are insured. Remember that your deposits are insured up to that maximum amount. You can go to the IPAB website on a regular basis and see what that limit is. There's all sorts of ways that you can protect yourself by having multiple accounts across different banks. but essentially don't have your eggs all in one basket. You don't want to have $1 million or 20 million pesos sitting in one bank account that is just in a checking account, because in a case like this, you basically would have lost the majority of your money. All right, everybody, thanks again for joining us. I hope you found this video useful and helpful. And on that note, before you go away, I just ask you again, you got to go to the link in the description and get into our contest, because again, you can win up to 150,000 Turkish airline miles. Plus, Jillian and I are sharing a lot of our new travel adventures on the Accidental Retiree Travel channel. And in that channel, we also go over all the great reasons why we love living in Mexico that basically allow us to do this new travel version of ourselves. Okay, on that note, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you at the next video. Nos vemos hasta luego en adiós desde Bucerías aquí en México. ¡Ay!